चलो बच्चे, पहला क्वेश्चन है, पावर इज नेवर द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स, इट बिलोंग्स टू अ ग्रुप एंड रिमेन्स इन एग्जिस्टेंस only so long as the group keeps together. Hannah Arendt's concept of power marks a departure from the traditional notion of power as dominance. In her book Human Condition 1958, she offers a constructive and phenomenological view of power. So introduction आपका अच्छा है, बुक वगैरह का नाम लिखना और बताना कि दिस एग्जैक्टली what this particular statement is conveying, it reflects that you know what exactly examiner wants to ask. तो clearly आपने reflect कर दिया है, so it's a good introduction. She argues power is when people act in concert with others. Okay, when people act in concert, act in concert itself means कि they are acting collectively. तो with others नहीं, कोई जरूरत नहीं है. In public spheres, it vanishes when they disperse into their personal lives. The power is relations and intersubjective. Essence यही था. मैं इसको सम अप करूंगा, समझ में आ जाएगा आपको कि देखो, जो जर्मन की एट्रोसिटीज थी जूज के लिए, कुछ जर्मन्स ऐसे थे, दे डिड नॉट लाइक इट, बट दे डिड नॉट स्पीक अप इन ओपन बिकॉज ऑफ अथॉरिटी का डर था उनको. सो इसी सेइंग कि भाई पावर तो तभी रिफ्लेक्ट होगी ना जब व्हेन यू कम इन द ओपन एंड व्हेन यू स्पीक योर माइंड, तभी तो रिफ्लेक्ट होगा कि पावर है आपके पास में. वरना आप घर पे बैठे हो, किसको पता चल रहा है कि यू आर स्पीकिंग अगेंस्ट इट. तो एक्टिंग इन कॉन्सर्ट, व्हेन यू कम अप, व्हेन यू स्पीक अगेंस्ट द एट्रोसिटीज, देन इट रिफ्लेक्ट इन पावर. तो इसका मोटा मोटा एसेंस यही था, एक्टिंग कॉन्सर्ट. Ardent compares power and she notes it not strength. It notes she notes it's not strength, as strength is individualist. It's not force, a phenomena of nature. It is not even authority which requires external validation. ठीक है. She gives her notion of power as power too. She focused on the empowerment of individuals within the community. She adds that power is too generic and emerged on its own when people are in public sphere. Very good. ये देखो, ये keywords जो आप use कर रहे हो ना, that is wonderful. It makes your answer more effective. Good. Her view on power also saved her criticism of totalitarian ideology when which is against plural power and based on cohesion and violence. Very good. Ardent ideas. What is this idea? Retain relevance in the contemporary movements like Arab Spring and recent movement in Southeast Asia, where collective authority, not not coercion, sustain. Okay, despite criticism from feminists who dismiss lack of power in private sphere, uh, durability of ardent power depends on the cohesion of group. ओके, अच्छा आंसर था आपका. वेरी गुड. देखो कितने अच्छे आंसर लिखने लग गए आप और द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम प्रैक्टिस करते करते. न्यू लिबरल परस्पेक्टिव ऑफ स्टेट, सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. न्यू लिबरल थ्योरी ऑफ स्टेट emerged in the late 20th century. It is akin to classical liberalism. Akin बोल सकते हो, but like you can say that they develop their foundation from classical liberalism, but adjusted to the modern conditions of globalization and economic restructuring. Okay, good. It argues that markets, not governments, are the most efficient mechanism for organizing society. Therefore, state must be limited, decentralized, and oriented towards economic freedom and privatization. Okay. Frederick Hayek, in his book The Road to Serfdom, argues that state planning destroy spontaneous order, leads to coercion and violence. It also criticizes social justice programs as mirrors and leading to social division. Very good argument. Another proponent, Milton Friedman, contends that economic freedom is state forms the basis of political freedom and state intervention distort efficiency and undermine autonomy. In practice, neoliberal theory of state translated to promulgation what is this? Promulgation, social austerity as exemplified by Reaganomics and India's 1991 economic reforms. Okay. Arun Maira, a firm critic of model, said that illiberal societies, are the results of literal economics. Carl Poyani notes neoliberals dismembered the economy from the state. Okay. Neoliberals thus recast the state as actively restructuring society in the image of market. चलो ठीक है, आंसर भी आपका. डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन लिबरल फेमिनिज्म एंड रेडिकल फेमिनिज्म. अब एक बात आप मुझसे पूछोगे सर, उसके अंदर बताओ क्या करना चाहिए, क्या लिखना चाहिए. बेटा एक बात याद रखना, कुछ आंसर आपके बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ अबो एवरेज होते हैं और कुछ एवरेज होते हैं. एंड दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स गोज ऑन. परफेक्शन के पीछे मत भागो. अब धीरे धीरे कंटेंट इंरिचमेंट करते रहो चीज़ें. यू आर राइटिंग गुड आंसर्स. ऐसे ही होता है, ऐसे आंसर लिखे जाते हैं. नाउ इट्स ऑल अबाउट रिटेनिंग योर कंटेंट, रिकॉलिंग इट. जैसे ही क्वेश्चन पढ़ा, चीज़ें किए, एंड यू आर डूइंग वंडरफुल. Feminism is a meta-ideology with various strands giving unique diagnosis of patriarchy and prescribing remedies. Liberal feminism is rooted in the Enlightenment ideas of liberty, equality, and individual rights. Okay. Thinkers like J. Mill and Mary Wollstonecraft argues that women subordination is a result of lack of political and legal rights, low participation in public sphere, and denial of education. Betty Friedan, in her book The Feminist Mystique, links women oppression to uh, rest- uh, restrictive gender roles. These feminists give reformative solutions, increase access to the education, public sphere, political participation, along with the workplace access and dismantling discriminatory laws. Okay, ठीक है. देखो, introduction was good. Key thinkers are mentioned. यही होता है आंसर के अंदर में. Keywords are properly being used. बुक का नाम यूज किया है आपने. Radical feminists see the literal reforms as surface level and ignorant of structural inequalities. They criticize the liberal feminists as superficial. The radical strands emerged in 1960s and 1970s. They believed that patriarchy is pervasive system of male domination in all spheres, sexuality, language, culture, and social. Okay, ठीक है. Personal is political mention करना चाहिए था आपको यहाँ पे. Writers like Suleiman Firestone, in her book Dialectics of Sex, argued that women's separation is rooted in biology and reproduction, requiring revolutionary changes like reproduction autonomy, technological innovations. Kate Millett focuses on conscience raising, sexual politics, and challenging entrenched norms as precondition for liberty. Good arguments. बस पर्सनल पॉलिटिकल वाला डायमेंशन आप ये मेंशन करते हैं आप. That was the essence of radical feminism. Anyway, both strands remains crucial in individually. The offer of partial remedy to women's subordinate, but a golden mean is ideal for empowering women. Okay, ठीक है आंसर. Discuss feminist theory of state. Feminist theory interrogates the patriarchal foundation of state. It argues that though modern state is formally committed to equality, it continues to serve as an instrument of male domination and gender power relations. Okay, good. Carol Patman, in her book The Sexual Contract, suggests that the very notion of social contracts कौन क्या लिख रखा है ये, conceals subordination of women within political and personal sphere. हाँ, उन्होंने जॉन लॉक को क्रिटिसाइज किया था इसके लिए. because women were not part of the social contract. Only male were part of that. So that is why male those who had the property. Liberal feminists such as Mary Wollstonecraft and J.S. Mill argue that the state must reform its policies, increase participation of women in public sphere, and increase access to education and workplaces. Okay, मतलब यही है यहाँ पे एसेंस ये था कि स्टेट का जो स्ट्रक्चर है ना, जो स्टेट की जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, जो लॉज बन के आएंगे स्टेट के, दे आर सस्टेनिंग द पैट्रियार्की. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द major theme in this particular thing. Embodied state itself embodies patriarchal power. uh, what is this? Macedon stresses even law is masculine, reforming gender hierarchy through norms and sexuality. Firestone notes that women operation is rooted in reproduction and biological dependence, requiring structural transformation of family sexuality through innovation like technology. Socialists like Heidi Hartman and Alexander Kolontai link patriarchy with the capitalist structure of production. They argue that state sustain women exploitation by relying on their unpaid labor and care work. ओके, हाँ यही स्टेट के रिवोल ही आपके आर्ग्यूमेंट्स घूमने चाहिए, विच इज़ फाइन, यू आर डूइंग गुड. कैरोल Hanish argues personal is political, thereby extending the authority of state over personal sphere to combat domestic violence, reproductive control, and gendered labor in household. She asserts state must be analyzed as part of machinery that normalizes private sphere inequality. Very good. देखो thinkers आपने properly mention किए हैं. You wrote arguments in structured manner. तो एक लॉजिकल फ्लो आपने मेंटेन किया है. दैट इज गुड एंड इफेक्टिव. देखो कितना आंसर में इंप्रूवमेंट आ गया. पहले अननेसेसरी की फ्लावरी लैंग्वेज यूज कर रहे थे, नाउ थिंग्स आर टू द पॉइंट और प्रॉपरली इफेक्टिव आप लिख रहे हो. दिस इज हाउ इंप्रूवमेंट्स कम्स. Explain the liberal theory of state in contemporary politics. Liberal theory of state is grounded in the primacy of individuals, protection of rights, and limited constitutional authority of the state. ठीक है. Okay, the state is justified only insofar as it secures freedom, prevent any arbitrary power, and operates through consent. हाँ ठीक. यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा मेंशन कर सकते हो आप दैट इट इज़ द स्टेट इज रिजल्ट ऑफ सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, कि भाई ये राइट्स दिए जाएंगे, दैट इज वाई वी आर क्रिएटिंग. थोड़ा सा लिख सकते हो सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट थ्योरी. सो दिस इज बिगिनिंग ऑफ द लिबरल स्टेट, उस सेंस में लिख सकते हो यहाँ पे. एनीवे, क्लासिकल liberalism articulated by John Locke envisages a night watchman state limited to protecting rights to life, liberty, property. Its key tenets were rule of law, constitutionalism, and separation of power. ठीक है. J.S. Mill reinforces the idea through his harm principle that limits the authority of state and prevents interference in personal life unless it causes harm to others in society. Other regarding and self-regarding actions की बात कर रहा है वो. By the late 19th century, liberalism evolved to internalize discontent of classical strand. Welfare liberalism was championed by T.H. Green. He argued diverting what is that? Diverting demanded state action to enhance freedom through provision of education, healthcare, and welfare. Okay. This shift culminated in the John Rawls theory of justice, asserted goals shared by redistributed to benefit the least advantaged and secure fair equality of market. Late 20th century saw the rollback of state and reemergence of neoliberal theory of state. हाँ ये डायमेंशन लिखना बहुत ज़रूरी था आपको इस आंसर के अंदर. वेरी गुड. दिस dimension was necessary to make it multidimensional. ठीक है, कैसे फिर अगेन दे रिस्ट्रक्चर्ड जब यहाँ पे ये डेवलपमेंट हुआ. Rollback of state and emergence of neoliberal theory of state. The key proponent were Friedman, Hayek, and Milton Friedman. They reasserted faith in market, arguing for deregulation, privatization, and markets as efficient mechanism to manage society. Uh, they even said social justice programs are mirage. Or he even said what you wanted to say. I don't know. As the as the reduce inefficiency and disregard merit. In contemporary politics, critics question the sufficiency of liberal theory. Amartya Sen argues that rights are meaningless without capability. Carol Carol Polanyi wants disembedded economy, and Joseph Stills argues the case for increased inequality by globalization, which is an intention of liberalism. Okay. While liberal theory of state continues to evolve with time and age, it presents challenges to the reconcile individual liberty, social justice, democracy, and global connectedness. लिख सकते हो अभी भी. फॉर एग्जांपल जो यूएसए के अंदर जो डेवलपमेंट चल रहे हैं, फाइन, और जैसे फार राइट का यूरोप के अंदर फार राइट पॉलिटिक्स का जैसे बहुत पावर बढ़ रही है. सो हाउ स्टेट इज आल्सो काइंड ऑफ रोल बैक की तरह ही, मतलब ये टेंशन क्रिएट हो रही है वहाँ पे. अगेन इट इज़ गोइंग टूवर्ड्स लाइक रोलिंग बैक ऑफ स्टेट का मतलब है यहाँ पे इस कंटेक्स्ट के अंदर, जैसा कि अभी हमने यूएस के अंदर देखा. लाइक कहाँ पे था वो इलेक्शन जिसके अंदर वन साउथ एशियन वोन इलेक्शन, पता नहीं क्या नाम था उसका, आई फॉरगॉट. तो उसके अंदर सोशलिस्ट का जो एलिमेंट आया है पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर, सो इट इज़ अगेन रेनफोर्सिंग दैट न्यू लिबरल पॉलिटिक्स कि भाई स्टेट को ज़्यादा अननेसेसरी उसके अंदर इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं करना है. सोशल लेजिस्लेशन वगैरह के अंदर इतना सोशल डायमेंशन के अंदर इतना इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना है. सो दिस डिबेट अगेन गोट इनिशिएटेड. वो डायमेंशन आप यहाँ पे लिख सकते थे. आई फॉरगॉट द नेम ऑफ दैट पर्सन. एनीवे, such contemporary examples could be added in this. Otherwise, answer is good. So essence यही है, you are writing good answers. Keep practicing it. Revise करो अच्छे से और you're doing good.